talk about defining the goals of your message. What is the desired action that you want them to take? What are the things that you want them to do? Really take a step back before you even craft the language and understand what that is. Is it just one action? Are there multiple actions that you want them to take? Always better to have just one call to action in an email. I've seen emails in the past where they have 4 or 5 or 6 landing page links there. Probably too much, unless it's a newsletter. If you're just sending out an email, a one-off email, even a drip series, you want to have one desired action that you want them to take in that email. Creating a perception. What is that perception that you want the prospect to have? How do you want them to think about you? And think about the long term. You're not going to try and sell them something right away. You want them to, first of all, know who you are, understand the company, understand your products and services, and really create that perception in their mind of who you are and what you can do for them. And that helps reinforce the brand as well. And the brand is important. And you want to have that logo there on your email. You want to have your tagline there. Not all the time, but you want to make sure that they know who it's coming from, because brands are powerful, let's face it. Coke, Nike, Yahoo, Google, brands are critically important. And if they see your brand right there in the subject line, name your company, that could get them to open it right there, and let alone all the other stuff you have in your email. So branding is important, and let's continue to do that. And keeping it relevant. Obviously, when we talk about relevancy, right now with the economy, stuff going on in Wall Street, there's a lot of stuff that can be brought up around that. How can we save our prospects money? How can we help them do more with less? How can we, they can maybe outsource to us possibly if they don't have enough people on their team, or if they have too much work. Show them how outsourcing can save them money in an economic recession like we're in. So keeping it relevant, what's going on in the world right now, and tying into that, how can we do that with our email? And don't overload with too much information. Again, one of my pet peeves, and not all the time, but many times, is the never-ending homepage of a sales letter type of website that goes on and on and on. You have to scroll down, countless benefit statements, videos, etc., and you finally see the price of the product way down at the bottom, and it took you about 5 minutes to get down there. To me, so many times, those websites and those products, it's just too much information, and I don't need to be sold that hard. And so it goes for email too. Make it simple. Make it easy to understand. I saw an email a couple days ago from a company that focused on the message of using your money before you lose it. Use it or lose it. Here in Q4, a lot of companies obviously have to use their budget before the end of the year, or they won't get it next year. So the whole point of their message was, hey, contact us now if you've got a few $1,000s you need to spend. We'll show you how to use that money and use it effectively. And it was a great, very catchy kind of email, and it was one paragraph, I think, but very, very catchy. Writing short blocks of content. Again, that goes with the point before it. Don't overload with too much information. Short blocks of content, you see a lot of great emails. The way they're crafted is every thought or idea is separated by a little space, by paragraphs or short blocks. And even one sentence or two sentences can stand alone if it's just a single thought, and then go on to the next one. Email newsletters should contain a header, table of contents, a welcome, and multiple departments. Newsletters obviously are a great thing to do. It keeps you in front of your customers. And when I talk about a drip series, this is the ultimate drip series. This is an email newsletter that you send out on a monthly basis. If you do a newsletter, which you should, everyone should probably do a newsletter, make sure it contains the header. Make sure it contains right at the very top what's in the newsletter. On page 1, page 2, page 3, what are they going to read? So they can get a quick snapshot of what they're going to go on to. A quick welcome as well. Welcome to our Q4 newsletter. Today we're going to talk about an interview we did recently with one of our partners and talk to you about a new product and then get into it. And then those multiple departments. If you do have a long newsletter, really separate it out by department or by event, by area, so that you're not confusing the recipient. And of course, a privacy statement, disclaimer, and unsubscribe instructions are really important, especially nowadays. 6, 7, 8 years ago, not as important because obviously with the spam laws that have come out. But it's still surprising how many companies miss this. So definitely include the privacy statement. Have a link there to your website, which has the privacy statement on it. And if you don't have a privacy statement, that's probably a good first course of action. Is make sure you have that, because that's gonna serve you well if there ever is an issue where you have a spam problem. And obviously the unsubscribe, we got into that earlier. Make it easy, make it one click, make it easy to see in the email, and usually at the bottom is a good place for that.